Okay, so hello everybody. I'm Michelle Christensen. This is my colleague Florian Conradi, and we have the honor of welcoming you here today. So welcome everyone to the Berlin University of the Arts, here to the Design Transfer. Welcome to all our speakers, first of all, who are here from near and far. So we have live speakers and we have digital speakers. And to the audience, thank you for joining us as well. To also the live audience, since we're happy to be able to be doing something live again here at the UDK. And also welcome to our digital audience, since we are streaming also parallel this event. So Florian and I met Regine and Chris, I would say a year ago, in perhaps the 4.5 lockdown here in Berlin. And we met on Zoom, which was an interesting experience because we found out that although we hadn't met before, we actually knew pretty much all the same people and worked a lot in similar contexts. And there were so many things that we had in common, from the hacking and making, of course, exploring the potentials and the boundaries of open source, of do it together and do it with other cultures, bringing together different knowledge spaces, different practice spaces across academia, arts, design, civil society. And so we thought it would be nice that we could do something together, and we're very happy that we're able to today host the first day here of the Hackers, Makers, Thinkers conference. And we're very happy that we're able to do it live in real space. At that point when we were talking, there wasn't much of an outlook on whether that might ever be possible again. So that's just very shortly from our side. To maybe you want to add something?
I would like to add some thanks, obviously, to the whole team of Art Laboratory, Regine, Chris, Tuce, Tengal, Neda, Linus, who's taping the whole event. Thank you so much for all your work. And until now, and it will continue, it was really a pleasure to work with you. Then a few thanks to Ilka from the Design Transfer, where you are right now, of the UDK Berlin. It's always so nice to give us the space, as well as the Berlin Open Lab, which you will explore a bit later after the second panel, which brings me to my biggest thanks to the students, Pablo, Berkay, and Aaron, who would like to give you an inlet into their work, their way of thinking. It's called a kind of a micro exhibition, I would say. And they will give you a little tour. So please feel free to enjoy the day today, go into the garden, and there's coffee, tea, and everything. So we're so happy to have you here. And now I will lead over practical things.
I have to do the very practical things. So first of all, we are wearing masks here, unless the people who are up here speaking. It's not a prerequisite in Berlin anymore. We just do it to keep each other safe. And also, just so you know, we are recording this. So there is a live stream which is being recorded of it. So when you ask questions and so on, we also have a photographer here who's taking pictures, Julia at the back. So in case someone is uncomfortable with having their pictures taken, you can just tell Julia, and then we know for the documentation afterwards. Those were the very practical things. And then we would like to give over to Regine and Chris, who will tell you a little bit more about the overall Hackers, Makers, Thinkers project and what we'll be seeing today during the day.
Hello, everyone. This is Regine Rapp and Christian de Lutz from Art Laboratory Berlin, and we are so absolutely happy and glad to have an in-person physical audience. We have had 2 conferences in the last 2 years, completely virtual. And so actually we're also happy and welcome the worldwide audience here with us. Hackers, Makers, Thinkers. So first of all, we want to welcome to the conference that Art Laboratory Berlin is very happy to realize in collaboration with the Weizenbaum Institute, the UDK, and the Einstein Center Digital Future. We want to welcome all artists of the group exhibition Hackers, Makers, Thinkers that we have successfully opened last weekend, and that we all, at least the in-person audience, tomorrow explore a little bit further. We want to welcome all speakers of our conference today. We cannot express how valuable it is that actually nearly all speakers are here in person and we can spend time, very valuable parameter, time. And we have speakers actually from 5 continents. So I think it's quite international. And of course, as I said, welcome to the audience joining us virtually. And I hand over to Chris.
Okay, and today we have 14 speakers, of which we have, first of all, the exhibiting artists from Hackers, Makers, Thinkers exhibition, all of them. And with them, we have critical minds from artistic research, curatorial practice, anthropology, architecture, design, and biology. For the audience, we've prepared chat options on the YouTube live stream to leave comments or leave questions if you're following us virtually, and we'll collect and pick these up during the discussion. We want to wish everyone a great conference with challenging ideas, fruitful conversations, and a great connection. We're very grateful for the opportunity to have this project. And for that, we've received very generous funding from the Berlin Senate and the Hauptstadt Kulturfonds, the German Capital City Fund. And that has allowed us also to put together this conference, as well as the group exhibition, workshops, and performances that make up the whole Hackers, Makers, Thinkers project. We thank our media partners, Art in Berlin and Clot Magazine. And we have special thanks to our cooperation partners, Michelle Christensen and Florian Conradi from the Weizenbaum Institute of the UDK and the Einstein Center for Digital Future of the TU Berlin. We're grateful to be able to use this location for the first conference day, design transfer, with the Berlin Open Lab next to it, and the beautiful garden in between. We, the curators, Regine, I, Ture, Errol, and Tengal Drillin, want to thank our team, Julia, Neda, and Claudia, for your great, dedicated, breathtaking support in organizing, logistics, realization, installing, press, and PR. And also special thanks to Pablo and Masha, our colleagues from OKK. And again, especially today, Linus Kaufhold, to master the tech logistics during our conference. So a few words about the context of Hackers, Makers, Thinkers, or as Mackenzie Wark wrote in 2004, to hack is to differ. So following 2 years of social distancing and isolation, Art Laboratory Berlin will devote this year what social possibilities can be thawed and revived. Hackers, Makers, Thinkers proposes that doing it with others, DIWO, can be a way of rebuilding and re-energizing damaged social relations. After a period when most of us have been reliant on corporate technologies, open source knowledge will form a basis for making and thinking. Above all, we're interested in an open culture based on reciprocity, cooperation, and exchange on a global level, combining Berlin-based artists and venues with guest artists from Latin America and Southeast Asia. This project proposes art making as a tool for social empowerment and knowledge acquisition, collaboration, and working together. Hackers, Makers, Thinkers, co-curated by Regine Rapp, Ture Errol, Tengal Drillin, and Christian de Lutz, focuses and appropriates hacking as a curatorial research and methodology to unlearn institutional structures and reshape and hack in various mediums of artistic practices, such as workshops, performances, process-based exhibition, and conversations. The HI story of hacking and its patriarchal structures, as well as its political, economic, and cultural connotations, needs to be unpacked and addressed. Often the public associates hacking with the criminal. Often hacking embodies masculinity and cyberbullying. However, through a feminist lens, hacking can be used as a tool set to critique the patriarchy, capitalist system, colonialism, and inequality of redistribution of resources. In reference to this large-scale critique, the project addresses the value of citizen science, democratization of knowledge, community-driven skill sharing, collectivism, and the collective mind hives. In Mackenzie Wark's A Hacker's Manifesto, hacking is used as a methodology of abstraction and creating new things, which express relationships between art, science, philosophy, and culture. Hacking allows production and democratization of knowledge and technology beyond certain capitalist structures. Indonesian scholar and critic Grace Sambo proposes process-based artistic practice in contrast to conventional artwork production, which provides a different perspective of experience, knowledge, and scholarship, and their ownership. How can we redistribute knowledge through thought, action, and exchange?
And we'd also like to give a little introduction into the exhibited art projects, which will be then also further explored here in the panels today and also tomorrow. So the core of the project is the group exhibition Hackers, Makers, Thinkers, which is featuring 6 art projects from artists from Latin America, Southeast Asia, and Berlin. And I'm already here in front of one artwork. Since 2018, Rice Brewing Sisters Club, RBSC, with Alicia Huin Yin Shin and Hui Min Son and Soyun Ryu, has combined artistic research with practice through a framework of social fermentation, which is also a very important basis for our curatorial project. Their projects encompass visual art, performance, creative writing, oral history, decolonial histories, geographical and geological observations, and anti-wisdom. Here in Berlin, Rice Brewing Sisters Club is working on a new installation, Terrestrial Celestial. That is a cultural home for microorganisms collected from rice, soil, and human microbiome. After multiple stages of growing, heating up, and mixing, the microorganisms will become nuruk, the Korean fermentation starter, and Seokkeodungdung, the Korean composting method that activates indigenous microorganisms. And we will find out much more in the panel to come right now. Accompanying the installation are workshops and social microbial experiments that unfold throughout the exhibition period, which explore ways to be grounded in the earth we live in, while also traversing boundaries between migration, localization, and indigeneity. And we're very happy to host a workshop on the 4th of June here in Berlin. The project Entangled Beauty, a Perfect Marriage by Indonesian artist Irene Agrivina combines traditional Indonesian farming practice, art, and biology to create an installation that is also a power source. It brings together water fern plants with cyanobacteria. This mutual symbiosis of the 2 species, Azolla and Anabena, creates a photosynthetic process that functions as a biofertilizer, water purifier, food for humans and non-humans, eco-friendly textile dyes, and biofuel. The work also recalls the importance of cyanobacteria as Earth's original terraformer. The artist also carried out anthropological research about the connection between human culture and environment, drawing upon myths about the goddess of rice and fertility, known in Java as Devi Sri, and we see her in the installation painted on the left image. The work Codex Virtualis by the Mexican artist collective Interspecifics is an AI art science research project oriented towards the image synthesis and evolution of an open-ended taxonomic collection of new-to-nature speculative life forms. It can be understood as an aesthetic journey through an ecosystem of neural networks and algorithms that reflects on the role, form, and association account for changes in the natural world. Codex Virtualis can be understood also as a ready-made of technology and theoretical frameworks that seek to sharpen our perception of the creative function in machine terms and questions conventional definitions of life, experimenting with algorithmic behaviors that progressively become novel life forms in themselves. Artist and designer Pei-Ying has developed a body of work over the years exploring the complex relationship between humans and viruses. The biological world is vast and evolving. As one of the biological habitants that share the same basic building blocks with other living and semi-living things, we are born within the cycle of evolutions. We share the same genetic codes as viruses. At the same time, not all viruses are pathogens. Virophilia exists in various formats that we share here with the public. The artist book, cookbook for the 22nd century, and we find out much more in the next panel to come. And we have the roles here, 2 large roles document a long list of viruses. And it also exists as a food performance, which we are very glad to have realized here with Pei-Ying Lin and Ariel Ora from Soy Division on the 11th of June here in Berlin. The installation Quipu by Chilean artist Constanza Piña Pardo recreates the ancient Inca quipu textile pre-Hispanic devices for recording information made of cotton or camelite fiber strings that store data coded as knots. The artist added copper wires to 180 wool strings that are then connected to an electronic circuit that amplifies and sonifies the electromagnetic changes present at the installation site. Art Laboratory Berlin just hosted Constanza's workshop Quipu Dialogues a few days ago. The quipu can be understood as a pre-Hispanic ecological computer. These computers were made with organic materials such as stones, wool, vegetables, vegetable fibers, ceramics, seeds, even the human body itself is part of the computer system. Fingers, toes encode, and the user's brain process the information. The importance of these computers lies in the transcendental cosmic significance and the transmitted wisdom of the native peoples. Holobiont, Relics from the Revolution, is a science fiction musical installation and performance by artist Kamek Lindsay. That is an imaginary set inside a factory, extracting toxins from cyanobacteria to transform them into profitable products. Roughly 2.5 billion years ago, cyanobacteria initiated the evolution of all complex organisms by introducing photosynthesis and oxygen into the atmosphere. The project speculates how cyanobacteria's toxicity and the anger of an intersection working class could expand together to increase their power through symbiosis as a single ecological unit of life, or holobiont. So just as a quick journey through our exhibition and also the speakers we are very happy to have here. So we have 3 panels today. After the introduction, right directly, we will start with the panel A, Hacking Food Narratives. We have then, after the lunch break, Symbiotic Elements. And after a coffee break, Sonic Cyborgs. And the idea was basically to enlarge a sort of a classical setup that we are having here on the second conference day. Also inviting actually on the Berlin audience to Berlin, to the Art Laboratory Berlin's exhibition site, to be involved in front of the artworks and to discuss the concept together with the artists present. So the first curatorial team, tomorrow morning, the 4 of us want to welcome you and the participants on site in the exhibition. And later, and that was actually an idea to activate our discussion today, we invite conference participants to take part in three simultaneous so-called walk and talks with the conference speakers and the curatorial and conference team. So these walking conversations are intended to deepen the discussions that started on the first conference day. And by experience, we all know that the discussion time is always too short, so we extend it. And we want to invite to think in motion and exchange in motion in smaller groups. And based on Art Laboratory Berlin's experience of the positive impact and creative impulses of walk and talks, the 3 walking conversations will stimulate mind and body and offer an extended collective, what we could use to say, metabolism of knowledge beyond a classical conference format. Then we're also very happy to realize the workshop with Irene Agrivina tomorrow afternoon, Soy Couture, Ecoprints, and on BioLeather. And if you want, you can also still register for this. So thank you so much. So that was our introduction to the conference days.